Konza Technopolis, commonly known as Konza Smart City. How is it coming along?
We've started attracting investors.
Of what significance is it to the country?
To make Kenya a digital leader in the world.
Why invest in Konza, and who has invested here so far?
We will have the room that we need to expand.
Welcome to this special documentary about Konza Smart City. I'm Alex Chamwada, and to help put this into perspective, I will also share what I've learned about smart cities in other countries during my global visits. When you drive along Mombasa Road past the site of the upcoming smart city in Konza, you may not hear the sound of hammers, grinders, and heavy machinery from afar, but get a chance to visit the site and you will find a beehive of activity. Yes, men and women at work. It is a busy construction site. There are about 1,100 workers on site, both skilled and unskilled, contributing to the making of the smart city. They've been armed with protective gear, observing the anti-COVID-19 measures. Eunice Mwikali is a team leader of steel fixers. She is happy to be part of efforts to keep the economy vibrant in spite of the challenges resulting from the COVID-19 pandemic that is wreaking havoc globally.
Mimi napenda kazi yangu sana. Juu hii ndio inanilisha. Sina ingine, ni hii tu. Nimenisaidia, ndio nimeshomesha watoto wangu. Wamemaliza wa mwisho hapo university saa hii.
Konza Technopolis, popularly known as Konza City, is a key flagship project of Kenya's Vision 2030 Economic Development Blueprint. It is expected to be a world-class smart city and an innovation hub, expected to transform Kenya's economy into a knowledge-driven economy. The Technopolis is anchored on three main clusters: IT and IT-enabled services, engineering and life sciences.
The beginnings, like with all beginnings of any city, were tough. But I didn't have any doubts in my mind when I was put into the board of Konza City that it was going to be tough. Because doing cities is a tough thing. If we were just going to do a Mulolongo or an Ongata Rongai, we would have finished by now. We would have just subdivided the land, given it to developers without caring about their capacity, without even preparing the groundwork for them, like the infrastructure. They would have put up those buildings, and the whole place would be in a state of want, because there would be questions like sanitation, lack of it, water not even there, roads, a lot of dust and things like that.
The government established the Konza Technopolis Development Authority, KOTDA, as a special purpose entity to facilitate the development of the smart city. The authority is headquartered at this complex.
When Konza Technopolis was established and as part of Vision 2030, the government procured land in a location in this area now touching the three counties of Machakos, Makueni and Kajiado. 5,000 acres of land, and this is quite a strategic location, being very close to the city of Nairobi, because at the initial stages the two developments, Konza Technopolis and of course Nairobi City, will need to support each other.
The city offers excellent connections with Kenya and the rest of the world through land and air. It is located 60 kilometers from Kenya's capital city, Nairobi. The A109 highway connects Konza with Nairobi, Jomo Kenyatta International Airport, and Mombasa, the primary port of entry to East Africa and Kenya's second largest city. Transport into and out of the city will even become better when the highway is expanded through the Nairobi-Mombasa Expressway project, coupled with proximity to the standard gauge railway.
Everybody has a role to play. The counties have a role to play, the national government, private sector, everybody. This is our baby. This is our project. And so government has a responsibility to ensure that, you know, we take that vision. We have a lot of innovators in the country. We have trained and used technology in many ways. So what we've done with Konza is to create an image, a place where people can come and see what the Silicon Savannah really is.
Currently, the infrastructure development in phase 1 of the project is ongoing and will be completed by the year 2022. The horizontal infrastructure will involve the urban development works to accommodate the initial buildings necessary to stimulate the subsequent phases of development, including the design and construction of 40 kilometers of roads, parks, sub-services, water treatment plants, sewage treatment plants, an automatic waste collection system, a few public buildings such as the police and fire station, an entrance and security feature, as well as a transit hub. Over 100 parcels of land are available for investors' uptake.
We are working to make this location a preferred and a premium location for enterprises. We have already been gazetted as a special economic zone. So this gives us access to special economic zones incentives that the enterprises are looking forward to receive. So we've started attracting investors. The first investors that we'll start seeing in Konza are those who will do the construction of office spaces to provide accommodation. The other is city amenities and facilities like hotels. The other investment we are going to see are those who are going to invest in light manufacturing, because the country is looking at how to enhance our manufacturing.
The construction of the Kenya Advanced Institute of Science and Technology, a university of strategic national importance, is to begin this year. A 400 kV power substation is also under construction.
There is a technology tunnel where we have all the main and the most important lines related to ICT, electrical connections, solid waste system.
The tunnel technology allows room for future installations without damaging the existing infrastructure like roads.
It will be easy in future to do maintenance because there are assets, the people can walk inside, do maintenance to check if everything is working in the proper manner.
Ikiisha, hii itaitwa tunnel. Itakuwa inapita piping za kupitisha stima ndani. Hata sana zitakuwa zinaenda kwake kuchukua nini huko maji huko. Barabara zitakuwa juu.
The city will have green architecture and resilient urban designs. Other features include a mass bus transit and a pedestrian-focused design with room for cycling. The city will embrace innovative ways of recycling waste.
We have a system where we recover and we reuse most of the water for irrigation, for hydrants and for fire systems and for other utilities that can be utilized in the city.
The project supports about 150 local suppliers, as most of the material, including cement, sand, electrical installations and pipes, are bought locally.
The ones that you see now are ongoing. We produce and we precast manholes for the infrastructures. We have also the yard for the preparation of the steel for the concrete, the structures. And we have store for materials. The containers that you can see are all the materials that will be later on utilized on site. We have this is for the preparation of the formworks, and is our camp, the accommodation for all our employers that are working in the offices and the staff, international staff that are working on site.
The Cabinet Secretary for ICT, Innovation and Youth Affairs, Joe Musheru, is keen on timelines. He visits the site frequently.
Good work, excellent. There is progress.
The CS explains that this is not just a government project. The role of investors is paramount, when it comes to vertical infrastructure.
For instance, if you want to manufacture electronics, this is a great place to come. If you want to manufacture technology for health, as we've seen with COVID, and you want to do all your research, this is the place.
Investors will acquire land through leasing, which will be given for a maximum of 99 years and 20 years for short-term leases. The policies to guide the investors on land leasing are already in place.
As Konza, land is not sold. It's that you come with your project and your plan, and then you lease the land. We as government will continue to own the land.
The Technopolis is estimated to create over 20,000 jobs at the end of Phase 1. These workers and their families will require housing in the city. It is estimated that there will be need for over 12,000 residential units, and this is a great investment opportunity for those in the real estate sector. The city will be directly connected to all 4 underwater fiber optic cables in Kenya.
The data center that we've been building, already now, we had started with a temporary one, which is now ready for use. That will allow us to actually have our locally hosted video conferencing platform that every Kenyan can actually now use. The cost of using that in terms of internet bandwidth and so on will actually be much lower. The reliability, the security, and all that will be managed here. So it means even for many of the government offices, they no longer have to have their own data centers or computer rooms. Everything can be managed here centrally, and similarly, we can be able to support every school with connectivity and infrastructure from here, which means the cost for the country reduces significantly. What we're looking at is ensuring there's connectivity to all these schools. The applications can be hosted here and they'll be available both on the mobile and even on desktop machines across the country. And therefore, we are able to begin to use these services now as a country, while the buildings and the long-term infrastructure is being put in place. And all we'll do is we'll take the active equipment, put it into those buildings, and we're moving on. The data center that we've been building, already now, we had started with a temporary one, which is now ready for use. That will allow us to actually have our locally hosted video conferencing platform that every Kenyan can actually now use. The cost of using that in terms of internet bandwidth and so on will actually be much lower. The reliability, the security, and all that will be managed here.
The Kenya Advanced Institute of Science and Technology, that is modeled along the Korea Institute of Science and Technology, is expected to be a key catalyst for innovation and knowledge-based economy, the way Stanford University contributed to the growth of the Silicon Valley in California.
We'll work very closely with the other institutions in the country, the institutions of academia, universities across the country and the region, and also the research institutes of the government. We have so many vibrant research institutions that will also collaborate and catalyze to see that that desired goal can be achieved.
As at April 2020, 26 investors had expressed interest to invest in Konza. So far, over 15 have been approved to commence work. Among those approved is Craft Silicon, a fintech company with networks across Africa.
Konza City is a very well-planned development for us, and we think if we shifted our primary headquarters to Konza City, we will have the room that we need to expand. We intend to have about 1,000 people within the next 3 years. We will need to make sure we have a comfortable and a spacious outfit to house all the people, as well as our state-of-the-art data center.
Big and Global Limited, that provides infrastructure development services across Africa, is also set to invest in Konza.
We believe that Konza is well positioned to be the next big development out of East Africa. We like the vision of a smart city. It's a greenfields project, and therefore, from a planning point of view, there's a lot of good things that can be done right from the onset. But also looking at Nairobi, Nairobi has become quite a congested city. And what Konza offers is an opportunity for the sprawl of Nairobi to happen more towards the Mombasa way.
The company is set to establish an international hospital at Konza.
CapEx, we're estimating at a CapEx of about $40 million US dollars, just to be able to establish part of the first phase. It's a 200-bed specialized hospital.
And Makueni County, a car housing cooperative society, has leased 1.5 acres of land here for 50 years.
It is formed by a group of women who came together because they wanted to make investments, especially on Konza City, which is the new city that we have heard about. We are investing in constructing an office block. In this office block, we will have our headquarters, Makueni Aka headquarters, and we will rent the rest of the space that is available.
Let's now cross over to South Korea to learn about the country's approach to the creation of smart cities. Pangyo, that is situated about 20 kilometers from Seoul City, is one of South Korea's new smart cities. It has been developed by a government-owned corporation that is known as the Korea Land and Housing Corporation, which is responsible for development of land and cities in the country.
We have built about 30 new towns, 20 around Seoul, and the rest of them were built in the regional area.
Pangyo City is the home to Pangyo Techno Valley, an industrial complex also known as the Silicon Valley of Korea.
New towns have a better living environment. Now people can enjoy wide open space and very good parks and good schools, hospitals. So our lifestyle had advanced to the level of developed country. Also, it creates a lot of jobs. To build new towns, we invest a lot of money in the housing area and the infrastructures and all other public services. So all those investments created a lot of jobs.
There are 870 companies and a total of 60,000 employees in Pangyo. 7 of the 10 biggest gaming companies in Korea are located here. Many companies moved from Seoul to Pangyo. And among the reasons are cheaper land prices and the local government support system. What the Korea Land and Housing Corporation created is only the horizontal infrastructure, including transport systems, water, electricity, and sewerage services.
Without infrastructures and amenities, people don't come to new towns. So if you do like that, you fail to attract people from the city, then your project will fail. That's why you need good infrastructures.
Indeed, techno valleys in Korea are playing an important role in innovation, creating new jobs and hubs for technology startups. Back home, Konza Smart City is expected to have a similar impact in Kenya and beyond its borders.
The technologies and systems we're putting in place can actually be replicated. So they don't all have to set aside thousands of acres to build. But now as the counties develop, as the country develops, we have a model that you can use on how should a town be set up? How will it be managed? How do you manage the sewage? How do you manage waste? How do you manage environment? So there's a lot of learnings we'll get from that. And so far, we believe that many counties are actually even going to set up their own space and start building. But we can start modernizing even the existing cities and towns so that they become smart.